Hello, everybody out there. This is entirely impromptu happy hour. Nothing announced whatsoever. It's 5:39 Eastern Standard Time here in Pennsylvania. Hello, Kareem. How are you? Good to good to see you join me. Tiberius. Very cool name. Is that a Kirk thing? Tret Films, what is going on? Hello there. I am literally just doing an impromptu thing, nothing planned. Great timing, Charlie. Why is it great timing? That's great to hear. Gratuita, what is going on? What would a live stream be without him? Nice to see that. Nice to see you as well. From Poland with love. Hello. Cheers, everybody. All right, what are we doing? Why am I here? I'm here for no good reason other than I literally just poured myself some Johnny Walker Black in a Durex glass as per brand. And I figured I'd kick back just for a few minutes to talk about Bond, because there's been some interesting discussions going on in the community, outside the community with journalists. Alex, how the heck I am damn good. It's a good day with business, had a wonderful day with clients and colleagues. Took a little drive in the toy. I'm here with you guys and gals. It's great. I got a little drink, a little digestive. Omega Bond watches is working. Are you working, Lorenzo? He's the hardest working man in Vegas. Don't let anybody think that it's anybody else. What's going on, Bond Jetty Ranger? How's it going? Jesus, what's going on? Tim Hands. Wow. Listen, a decent amount of people joining for an impromptu thing. This is totally unannounced. There's a couple things I wanted to talk about because there has been quite a bit of discussion. And it's kind of fun when you have a channel, even when you don't have a channel, when you keep up with content, you notice murmurings. And there's a lot of discussion being only about 2 months and 7 days out from a premiere. From a movie coming out. I don't know if you heard No Time to Die, but DT UK, what's going on, brother? How's it going? Wait, nice way to cap off it's your birthday? Happy birthday, DT UK. I swear I've only had one sip. And I'm going to do you a favor by not singing you the rest of the birthday song, but happy birthday. Behind the stunts, nearly 11 p.m. Is this a happy hour where you are? It is. It is, John. John, how are you? It's 5:42, so it's a little bit beyond happy hour, but I just got done with a long work day. I poured myself a Johnny Walker Black. Nice little digestive, get me a little bit hungry, hopefully for dinner. And I figured I'd touch base with all of you. So 2 things I wanted to talk about. And please, you can absolutely join in the conversation like Michael Pearson. Ooh, a surprise. Yeah, I got where you were coming from with that. So basically, wow. All right. Drinks, Beard, and Bond is way ahead of me. 2 things going on. First of all, there was an article, and the article was basically entitled, Daniel Craig reveals why he wanted to do one more Bond film. And listen, there's no spoilers here, so don't worry about earmuffs. It's not like my watch video that just came out. You're not going to hear anything strange. But here was some really interesting tidbit. You know, he was talking about, number one, he didn't think he was physically capable of doing another, but that was one aspect. The other thing is he wanted to explore more of the emotions. But here's what I thought was interesting. I want to get everybody's opinions on this. So he says, and I'm going to quote, on Casino, he loses the love of his life, and then the shutters come down. On Quantum, the flawed movie that it is, it's about revenge. Okay, I'll stop right there. Over the last few months, I've been doing a lot of defense of Quantum. And then the man who's starring as James Bond right now, who starred in Quantum as James Bond, calls it the flawed movie that it is. Daniel, give me a break, man. I'm trying to fly the flag over here, and you're just ripping it down. Flawed movie. So I would love to interview Daniel Craig for a few minutes. Got a couple questions for him, as you can imagine. Nothing hostile. Why is it flawed to you? I mean, is it flawed for the very reason? That was my Long Island accent coming out. Flawed. Is it flawed? like other people say, or is it a flawed movie because of some other reason? Like, do you have an issue with the editing? It's the first time I've heard Daniel Craig ever talk negatively about any of his movies. Thank you. I'm sorry, I just missed it. Hold on. Drinks, Beard, and Bond. Quantum's a solid movie. It's got its issues, but I think it's a solid movie too. And it's not because you've had two Blackwells. I'm telling you right now. So listen, this is one of these things where, yeah, I know, it's funny to everybody else, but all right. So then he says, Skyfall's about M. It's about loss, and there are big themes. And I think, yeah, why not have big themes? So then he jumps right to No Time to Die, and he goes, it's about love and family. So Daniel, what happened to Spectre? Why aren't you talking about Spectre? What happened to your Spectre comment? I don't know. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. If you haven't read the article, it's out there. You can find it very easily. It's got some tasty tidbits, but we're all a little starved, probably. James Bond North America, cheers to Quantum of Solace. We're a little bit starved for information. There is shadow murmurings going on that hopefully we're going to be adding some new information about No Time to Die, either the beginning of August, which is right around the corner. What are we, 8 days away, or possibly at the end of July? Well, we're damn near, the end of July. So Coker Films says Spectre was the weakest, in my opinion. I have a tough time. Yeah, no, I can't argue with that. I think it did have a lot of weakness to it, which I think is a big part of why Daniel Craig is back. And so it's interesting how he walks through the movies, but he leaves Spectre out to say that maybe something was left unsaid. I'm not about to put words in his mouth, but Daniel had to make up dialogue on the fly with Quantum, and he recognized that he's not a writer. All right, you know what? Maybe it's a mea culpa. You know, he's coming to the realization of things. That could be possibly. All right, let's get down into the questions. We've got 104 of our closest friends from all time zones, which is great. And King Grogu, as in Little Yoda. I actually love Spectre. I know I'll see myself out. Don't you leave the room. We support all the opinions. None of them are wrong. They're all valid, except for that one. And that's fine. Spectra. Oh, David Schlosky. Nice. I like it. Spectra. It's almost like this new shampoo. Try Spectra. When you're done using Panda Placenta, try Spectra. Is the worst Bond movie that I will never watch again. One boring time was enough. David, don't hide your feelings. How do you really feel? New information. Please don't need any new information that may spoil things now. We've waited so long. I kind of agree. How does everybody feel? I don't need any new trailers. Maybe a reminder that it's coming out, but no new trailers. All right, Zachary. Wow, thank you, Zachary. That's super nice. Never know how these things work. I like how On Her Majesty's Secret Service and Quantum have identical editing in the action scenes, yet HMSS works so much better somehow. Praise be to the Peter Hunt. Yeah. No, Zachary, you're right. I mean, look, I adore Quantum, but On Her Majesty's Secret Service is near to perfect. I mean, the way that they've, contained that, pushed that out, it's absolutely phenomenal. So I really cannot argue against that at all. So at least DC agrees with me. I don't know what you mean. Oh, because you don't like Quantum of Solace. That's fair. All right. Change of subject. All right. I'm going to kind of take a sip. Cheers to everybody out there, by the way. I don't know if you're waking up to breakfast or like John Autry, he is possibly going to sleep. So it's a nightcap. There is a lot of discussion right now with discussion of variants, cases on the rise in some area, London, UK, Italy, Portugal, etc., that there is questions around a delay of the movie, possibly to 2022, making it a 60th anniversary. Here's to hoping not. And I think that's unlikely. And it's not based on any insider information. It's a part of me just possibly being in denial. And another discussion about premieres. A lot of us like to celebrate with each other, whether you make your own little magical moment with 5 or 6 people, fantastic. Or you go to some of the bigger, more red carpet or geographical ones or brand oriented ones. And there's a lot of discussion right now that it's tough. Like, how do you even plan something out with 2 months away, just doing all of this? So on a wing and a hog, you can't deny that name. Not thrilled with the future of Bond. What do you mean by that? Tell us what you mean. Let us know. Omega Bond Watches says, don't you say it. Don't you say it. No, we're going to have everything. I wake up in the morning excited, creating content, bugging people around me because I am. You want a percentage? I'll give you a percentage because Calvin Dyson just did a great video where he gave a percentage. I will give it, seeing the movie when we think we're going to see it, at least a 95 percentile. A premiere around it, a little bit lower, just because I don't see anything materializing, but I've got high hopes. I mean, I really do have high hopes. Dave Fed Brooks, do you play 007 video games? I used to be all over that. I own every single one. I don't. And I'll tell you what it is. And you have this channel to blame for it, Lafayette. I've become really interested in this new hobby called the Bond Experience. And I love waking up in the morning and creating content and Instagram and answering questions. And I can't respond as much as and often as I would want to. But, creating 2 or 3 videos a week, and then several on Instagram, and then multiple posts a day. I don't see it as a chore, but it does take a lot of time. So to sit down for 5 to 6 hours to play a video game, which I used to do quite a bit, to me, I just, it's the balance. What do I do? Do I do the Bond Experience or do I play a Bond video game? Can't do both, even though I don't sleep, but there it is. I'll be going to the biggest, fanciest release of this film I can. I'll love it, even if it's not great, because Bond. Keith, hallelujah, Richardson. I'm going to drink to that, mostly because I need a little sip. But you are preaching to the choir, brother, because my whole point is, if you're in Boise, Idaho, why do they always choose Boise when they want to talk about someplace rural? I'm sure it's very nice. You can have the most amazing time. Go organize with your friends and family, a dinner out, martini tasting, walking to your theater, Ubering to your theater, going there, getting a limousine for the night, showing up at a theater dressed up in a suit or a blazer or a tuxedo. What, people are going to stare at you? Do they pay your rent? Screw them then. Just have the time of your life. That the experience that you have happens in here. Do you need to be walking the red carpet? No. Very few of us can. And quite frankly, I don't even know if there's going to be a red carpet. Will it diminish our time? It shouldn't. It'd be really bad if it did, because then we're actually counting on something that is about trappings, and we're not always going to have that. Lafayette, would you like The Living Daylights more if Pierce Brosnan was in it? No. And I'm becoming more, so things have changed in my life. Sounds very dire. It's not. I become more like Dalton fan and also liking Octopussy. I know, what's wrong with me? Karen Ferris, don't you like Bluetooth earbuds? I do, but the problem with Bluetooth earbuds and the setup that I have with StreamYards, the sound doesn't sound good. So I'm using this very nice. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Yeah, so the fidelity is better. Because there used to be a time, if you look at my old videos where you couldn't hear me, it sounded like I was in a tin can. What is Hassan doing? What is Hassan like? Hassan does not drink. Hassan does not like women. I'm just kidding. I'm renting out a screening for No Time to Die for my friends and family for safety, and we'll be watching From Russia with Love as well, all for my birthday. Hassan, you are the king. Cheers. It's going to be like a drinking game. You're all going to tell me your plans and I'm going to drink to them? I'll be under the floor. Listen to me, Hassan. You are amazing, and go do that. Everybody go do that. Here's a little challenge. Imagine going out there, finding somebody you work with or even a friend or a family who's not really a Bond fan. Maybe they're a casual Bond fan and saying, you know what, for the night, I'm going to make a Bond fan out of you. It's like that Mulan song. I'll make a man out of you. I'll make a fan out of you. And you just surround them with this whole idea of a Bond experience. James Bond, Netherlands. You're it. Cheers, my friend. Cheers. It's probably really late where you are. What are you doing up this late? So what's on the agenda, Bond fans? I'll tell you what. First, we talked about a couple murmurings and quotes from Daniel Craig talking about his different films where he called Quantum of Solace a flawed film. Who saw that coming? We did talk about the potential of, where do we see the date moving? What about London? London and the UK right now with the variant and, stops and stalls and things like that. But we do have 2 months. I mean, 2 months is a long ways away. Oh, look who comes in here. Bond Armory. What is going on? Ray, we're just here doing an impromptu happy hour. Ray and I need to get together. It's been too long, brother. Forgot what you look like. Tony Woolley, was it scary seeing Daniel Craig clothes shopping? So not many people know that story. So the first time I met Daniel Craig, I met him 3 times. The first time I met him, I walked into Tom Ford in New York City with my wife and used to know the manager there very well. And walk in, they knew me very well and obviously the channel. And manager comes up to me and goes, David, he's here. And I'm like, who's here? And I'm thinking like, oh, maybe Tom Ford's here. And he goes, he is here. I'm still thinking Tom Ford. I'm like, oh. And he goes, Daniel Craig is here. And now you have to imagine, it's the Tom Ford store. It's my wife, this manager, 2 other employees, and Daniel Craig. And that's it. And he had pulled up because he was collecting a bunch of clothes for both Rachel and for him for an event. So literally there was a stack of clothes that he was stacking up. He was wearing a jeans jacket, simple t-shirt, jeans, looked taller than he is. Just because I was so overwhelmed, it was the first time. And I went over to the manager, and mind you, I'm just trying to walk around. He's in the women's department. And I said to Danielle, just go shopping. She's like, there's nothing. I said, go shopping, go into the women's department so I could be with you. And she goes in there, and she went in there, and I went over to the manager because I didn't want to get anybody in trouble and make it awkward. The last thing you want to do is be a squid, and I was excited, but I just honestly wanted to just tell the guy I'm a fan, or I like his work. And so I asked the manager, is it okay if I went up to him? And the manager was so cool. And he goes, do it. So I go up to Daniel Craig. He's kind of on his way out. I'm like, this is it. And I just, said, Daniel, I'm a huge fan of yours. I said something so awkward just because I was like flustered. I said, I'm a huge fan of yours. I see you're a Tom Ford fan. I'm a Tom Ford fan too. The hell? There's a much younger version of me. That's the only excuse. And he's looking at me, smiling, no problem. And I said, would you mind if I got a picture with you? Now, this was well before I knew that he really doesn't like to take pictures with people. So basically, he said, I'd rather not. And so luckily, I became a professional. And I said, you know what? I absolutely respect that. And he kind of stepped back and he goes, I respect that you respect that. And he held out his hand for me to shake it. And I shook his hand. And that was it. Done. That's my first Daniel Craig story. Happily, they got better after that. They got a lot better. But there it is. And it was totally fine. Tim Hands, if Danielle married Daniel Craig, she would become Danielle Craig. Tim, are you a dad? Because that is a dad. That's like a Bond dad joke. Touched by Bond, absolutely. Do you think there was another reason the producers let go of Pierce that they are not saying? It's just a big shock back in 2004 what happened. I thought it was well known that that Pierce was potentially asking too much with a combination of getting Casino Royale. They wanted to reboot it and start with a younger Bond. So I can't imagine there's anything else like difficulty or anything. Crystal, Dawn, Tiki, do not exasperate. Do not push Tim to make more bad dad jokes. Yeah, there we go. Calvin Dyson almost met Pierce Brosnan. Yes, Andy, that is true. In a spa, swimming around, which is exactly how Calvin wants to meet him. So Dyson almost lathered Brosnan. Jonas, I think that might be taking it a little bit too far. I'm just thinking it out loud. British Bond Addict, what is going on, brother? Which Bond actor do you want to buy a pint or martini for? That's a really good question. I'm going to go with living, I assume. So I would say Daniel Craig for sure, but also I'm going to say Timothy Dalton. He just seems, I've been watching a lot of like movies, like even Penny Dreadful with Timothy Dalton, Tim Dalton. He just seems fascinating and classic actor. I think he'd just be great. Do you think Sam Neill would have been a good Bond? Oh, and hi from Ireland. I do think Sam Neill would have been a good Bond, but I'm not walking backwards. Andy Cornholder, amazing name, by the way, just putting it out there. Isn't it crazy that Bond is the mascot for Playboy in many ways, having appeared in Playboy magazine? How cool is it that he is a Playboy himself, reading Playboy? Andy, are you obsessed with Playboy? I'm getting the sense that you're a fan of Playboy. But yes, so I think that the Playboy lifestyle, the Bond lifestyle, especially as Bond associates with literary Bond and not just movie Bond, he's definitely living the Bond lifestyle, especially in the late 60s, early 70s. Diamonds Are Forever. I mean, it is Playboy, right? It's just perfectly there. Fletcher Sykes, how do you feel about the first time for most of us? The next Bond will be younger than, oh, I see what you're saying. How do you feel about for the first time for most of us? Yes. So I've come to a realization that this is going to be the last time, 100%, that Bond will be my age. Daniel Craig is 3 months younger than me. So I'm kind of James Bond's age. When you see James Bond running on screen, he was my age at that time when he was running. And it's cool, right? It's kind of neat to think that way. Not anymore. He's going to be 30, 35. So, I mean, it's just one of these things I'm dealing with. Am Singh, David, can you do a grooming video for Sean Connery's hairy chest? Do you really want that? I don't think you want. I don't want that. The only reason I have hair on my chest is because birds don't nest in an empty tree. God, I hope that was right. Why don't you or Calvin review the latest James Bond novels like Trigger Mortis or Seafire, Tom Wood 555? I'll tell you what it is. And a lot of people have said, why aren't you doing the book club with other books and things like that? I'm telling you, it's a finite amount of time. This book club that I do on a monthly basis without fail does take up time. Like, it's wonderful that you get to see the hour and a half that we have, the deliverable, but producing it, rehearsing it, getting information, getting people to do it, it really does take a lot of time. I would love to do everything. You know what? When I retire, I'll make this my job. JP asks, David, are you going to buy a Land Rover Defender? I am not. I did test drive it, had it in my driveway. It looks amazing, but it's one of these things where it's kind of not my bag. It's really big, and I do like I like something a little bit more, I don't know, accurate when I'm driving. You're a legend, Michael Johnson. No, you're a legend, Michael Johnson. I feed off of everybody else, not the other way around. Joe Hahn, I'm 30. Think the next Bond will be the last current Bond that will be older than me? No. I think they need to reboot with a younger Bond, but all bets are off. Somebody was talking the other day about having an older Bond series like on Netflix with starring Timothy Dalton. How cool would that be? I would watch that. Penny Dreadful is really good. Season 3 is not the best. Yes. And I'm having trouble getting into the Angel one, the one where, he's in Los Angeles. What's the fastest you've gotten the Aston Martin up to? That is funny you're asking that, Ray, because I was just driving it today. Maybe a tad bit fast, maybe a little bit fast. What should I say publicly? How fast have I gotten it up? I've gotten it up to 140 miles per hour. That's what I'm going to say publicly. And because sometimes Danielle catches this. Create a channel, right? I'm like 2 episodes in and I'm like trying to love it because I loved the first Penny Dreadful. If you haven't seen Penny Dreadful, come for the Bond people. Vesper's in it, Bond is in it, Rory Kinnear is amazing in it. There's a whole bunch of Bond people in it, and it's a really good show. Really, well, the first 2 seasons are amazing. But there it is. Lars DVD's time, the Bond experience. When are you and Calvin going to do a Bond video game debate? Like GoldenEye 007 for N68. That's a really good idea. So we were starting to run out of debate material. And then one day, just Calvin and I, after one of our debate discussions, we just did Octopussy, fierce battle. Fierce. We stepped away and it was, oh my gosh, what are we going to do next? And then we started talking about films we both like and realized we like them for very different reasons. So we're going to debate, kind of like you. We all have these different reasons why we like a particular film, but they may be very different. 120, where were you driving? Just in my driveway. Yeah, I got it up to 120 in my driveway and it in front of the police department. That was it. Just, we all kept it. I did say Vesper. Yeah, she's amazing in it. And boy, is she a great actress in Penny Dreadful. She is absolutely amazing. Crystal Dawn Tiki says, the Nunchuck vid is one of my favorites. Just saying. Can I tell you something? So total transparency. Again, lots of videos come out, right? And I usually have a queue of many videos lined up. There are some videos that I do where I think beforehand, like, oh, God, this is going to be awful. Like, kind of works, kind of doesn't work. It's a little off brand, but should I do it anyway? Or maybe I'm being overly goofy or whatever. And every single one of them, I'm just, excuse my language, I'm just like, F it. Like, if you folks haven't accepted me now that I'm just having fun and hopefully bringing you along for the ride, then what's the point? So the nunchuck one was like, I do this every other day. I do nunchucks and bow staff and sword play and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I'll give a sneak peek and, guy running around, throwing himself around a gym is going to look weird. It's not very Bondish, I'm sure. But, it's a part of all of our lives and it's what we do. And, I do focus on health and wellness. And if you ask me what I do to stave off the wolves, that's one of the things. Will you be doing a No Time to Die haircut video as previous films? I already did it. Sean, it's on YouTube. Go do a search. No Time to Die haircut. Zaritsky. It'll come right up. I did it. And it's pretty damn accurate. In fact, I did it in a full outfit of his haircut during Bond's retirement. I mean, literally like soup to nuts, shirt and all, at John's barbershop. Got the whole place to myself. We drank Heinekens. He pretended to be Felix. I was Bond, and he cut my hair. If you haven't seen it, it's fun. And John the Barber is just really entertaining. Zachary, what are you doing? You're giving me an income. You see any of the movies Tom Ford directed? I think he'd be a great Bond director. I have. Nocturnal Animals, everything. Because Tom Ford directs like every frame is a piece of art because he's an artist, right? He's a visual person. He's creative. So everything just looks amazing. What do you think? Sorry. What do you think of Dalton Returns as a villain for a new Bond? Hate. Did I mention hate? Hate the idea. Hate the idea of Bond alumni coming back for any of those types of reasons because it takes me out of the escapism experience of losing myself for 2+ hours. I don't want to go, hey, fan support, just no, don't do that for me. I'm not about that. Please. That's why I didn't want Connery to come back when he was an older guy and be like, ooh, you get it? That's the old James Bond. Maybe it'd be like titillating. Yeah, I said it. For other people, but that's not for me. Bond 26 song by, what? Just go back to classic. Like have Sting, whose Sting is kind of relevant, but go back to Sting. Hozier would be good. Hozier. Sade. No. See, this is why they don't hire me for this type of stuff. Great Overload. No question, but there it is. By the way, you guys, you're very nice to do that, but you don't have to do that. I'm going to take your questions anyway. I really enjoy talking to all of you. So appreciate it, but Really, it would have been weird for Connery to be in Skyfall. I know, right? No, no. And Skyfall is great. Like Skyfall is one of these things. I don't know about you, but if I'm flipping around and Skyfall's on, whether it's at the very beginning or towards the end, I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm done flipping. By the way, I'm trying an experiment I want to tell everybody about real quick. So the other day, I've been watching and listening to people talk about how they've picked up Spectre again to watch it after many years. And I haven't seen Spectre straight through for some time. And I was going to watch all the Craig movies in order leading up to No Time to Die. I think there's even theaters around here doing it. And I think I told people I was going to have a mini event open to the public, like whoever wants to show up, hopefully they have one of the larger theaters. And then, we'll have a drink, walk over to the theater, have more drinks afterwards, tell some stories, whoever wants to show up, right? So I will be seeing it back to back, but a part of me kind of wants to watch it alone because I've been hearing from people that it's actually gotten better now that they've let it go for some time, that it's a lot more forgivable, but I kind of want to see that. Space Force, Beyonce. Yeah. Beyonce would be good, right? All the secret agents, all the secret agents, all the secret agents, all the secret agents. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. See, again, this is why they don't hire me or take my calls. What do you think so far of Safin? I'm curious, but I don't have the same feeling about Safin like I had with Silva, where in the previews and trailers, I'm like, oh, this guy's going to chew up the scenes. He's so laid back and so maniacal. I think his deeds and what he does in the film is going to sell it. And, Rami Malek, oh my God, his performance, I'm sure will be amazing, but it's hard to take a read on whether I'm going to be like, oh, this is going to be a classic Bond character, villain or not. It's really, really early. You're right. Saw Spectre recently and somehow it's better. I keep hearing that. And I hear it's not just better like the Mexico scene, which is better for everyone, but leading right up, past the funeral to the parts that were wonky, for some reason, it just feels smoother to people. So I'm really curious how that's going to go. Would you all come to an event like that? I mean, I know not everyone's local, but I from what I hear, is it AMC? I think it's AMC is going to have some sort of event where they're going to have all 4 of the Daniel Craig films and then literally No Time to Die. So in essence, you can watch the entire arc in one day as a marathon. And I don't know about you. By then, I would have seen No Time to Die probably several times, I hope. I'm in. I'm in, and I actually may keep my powder dry, as they say, until then. So Spectre is only good if you treat it like a silly popcorn movie. Connor, good point. And silly popcorn movies, I'm embracing those more because, again, in my Octopussy debate, one of the things I said to Calvin is that Octopussy is like a gooey cheese pizza with a beer. Like sometimes I want a martini and Chateaubriand meal with white tablecloths. I'm dressed up. But sometimes I want gooey pizza and a beer. Octopussy's gooey pizza and a beer, and maybe Spectre is too. Spectre's not Chateaubriand to me. That's like Casino Royale. Peter McCormick. After No Time to Die comes out, will we finally hear the full Danny Boyle story? Big making of documentary. Probably not. If you do, it's not going to be through anything authorized, I would imagine. I think Elton John would make a good Bond song. I agree. And I know a lot of you out there are probably like, you're showing your age, Zaritsky, these crooners. But, Bublé, I think Michael Bublé would be excellent. I don't know. What do you think about Bublé? Funny accent, David. That's all I do is funny ones. And they're never accurate. Like, I don't know where McCormick is. Maybe he's Ireland. But when I try to do an Irish guy, it sounds Italian. When I try to do Italian, it sounds Israeli. I'm a mess like that. Spectre is the only truly flawed Craig film. Oh, Create Channel. I think people would argue with you and say it's Quantum of Solace, but I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. All right. Here we go. I'm worried. Wait. I might miss out on No Time to Die due to work and such. Oh my gosh. How do you think I'd beat the FOMO as a lifelong Bond fan at 22? Michael Bublé would be perfect too. All right. So Bernsey, New York. First of all, the movie should be in theaters for a while. And then I'm sure within a short amount of time, it's going to come out on demand. So hopefully when you come home at night, you may be able to watch it. I mean, I know it's not the ultimate way to watch it outside of a theater, but maybe you could watch it on TV. I hope you don't miss out on No Time to Die. Or are you talking about the events? Because that would be a shame. But let's say you don't go to an event. It's still fun. There's going to be online things. I mean, if there's one silver lining through COVID, it was quite a cliffhanger, is that we've learned to connect and adjust, it's just how I feel. Paul Weller would do a killer Bond theme. Ooh, I don't know who Paul Weller is. Peter Weller played RoboCop. I don't know if you knew that, but he did. What do we got here? Create a channel. You've been hogging it. No Time to Die gave us more time to crew. To crew. What is crew? I should know what that is. I'm so sorry. What Bond tropes are you okay or not okay with changing as society changes? Well, the Saint 2332, could that been a bigger question? That's a big question. See, I have a problem with changing Bond tropes to match or connect better with anybody's expectations, because it's changing history. It's changing expectations. So, like John Wick, let's laugh and appreciate all those things and not make it an issue. What's your most nostalgic Bond movie or moment? Oh, it's watching Thunderball. The entire watching of Thunderball is nostalgic for me, because I think it was my favorite movie growing up, because it was the one that my father would watch on reruns. Like, all right, perfect analogy. Thunderball was to my father as Casino Royale is to me. So this was his favorite. So he would watch it all the time. And then I remember getting it on Betamax. Yes, kids, before VHS, and he would watch it. So I'm sitting there, and I had a very busy entrepreneurial father and didn't play ball in the backyard. Weep, 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 David. And but we would watch Bond films together. So I remember watching that. So it's a very nostalgic moment for me. David, Paul Weller is AKA the Jam. I'm going to pretend that I know what that is, because maybe I'll seem hipper, of which I'm not. You have to understand, I listen to Bond soundtracks, and yeah, we can end right there. Thunderball was my first Bond as well. Wow, Space Force. Wait, did you see it in the theater? Hats off to you if you did. Yeah, Peter Weller played RoboCop. This happy hour is going right down the drain. Started off strong, as they do, but there it is. Joe Hahn, Tomorrow Never Dies is probably my most nostalgic Bond movie. That movie's 24 years old now. Wait, Tomorrow Never Dies is 24. Oh, we got to have a 25th anniversary celebration next year. What are we going to do? Where should we go? I don't know. We got to think of something. We cannot let it go. SIS training. Are you putting much thought into the cast of Bond 26, or are you too focused on No Time to Die? I am really focused on No Time to Die. That being said, the one Bond 26 video I did, which was a Bond 26 style that I had Henry Cavill as a part of, that we set up in the thing, got something like 65,000 unique views on YouTube. So clearly, I'll tell you, people really want to know about Bond 26, or they want to obviously speculate about Bond 26, which is pretty amazing. Craig was cast when I was 8, and I'm 24 now, fully expecting to cry at the end of No Time to Die, and don't mind donating. I got cash to burn. Bless you, sir. I'm all right. I feel like I know you all well enough, right? We've got about 200 people on this, and I know you all. I'm probably going to tear up a little bit beforehand. First of all, it's been a long time. We've had a lot of start stalls. I think when the room goes dark, when the theater goes dark, wherever we watch it, whatever town we're in, whoever we're with, when it goes dark and we start to see things come up and we start to hear that, and that gun barrel comes on, might I get teary-eyed? It could possibly happen. And then I'll just look to the next person and go, I'm not crying, you're crying. It's very easy, actually. How did you know Steven Seagal trained Connery in Never Say Never Again and more in Avtech, both older Bonds? How did you know? Oh, no. Did I know Steven Seagal? I did not know that. I did not know that. That is actually interesting, Professor Dent. So not only are you good with spiders, Not so much with guns, Smith & Wessons, but you're very good with facts. I like that. What would you want to see from a possible Bond series? I've talked about this. I'll tell you what. I think Netflix would kick ass. Well, it's going to be Amazon now, right? Doing a period-oriented approach to the books in order. So hear me out. So first season, Casino Royale. And 10, 12 weeks where they do the entire book. Now, is it going to interest everybody? No. It's a highbrow affair, but I want them to stay true to it. So there you go. Do you think Henry Cavill signing on for the Argyle spy movie series hurts his chances to play Bond? It doesn't help. I mean, especially if it's very close. And I think that Henry is unfortunately too obvious of a commercial choice. And, Eon doesn't usually go in those directions, I would say. And lest Amazon, if anybody thinks that Amazon has any hiring responsibilities for the next Bond, they don't. I don't think they have any creative responsibilities. It's all around distribution and things like that, maybe timing. So anyway, yes, the real James Bond. Yes, David, about 25 seasons to this show of yours. Yeah, it would be. That's true. It would be like so much to talk about. That's very true. No problem. Dan Stevens should be the next Bond. If you say so, I'm all for it. Dan Stevens. Do I know who that is? I'll look him up. All right. We've got about just a few minutes before I have to split, and the Johnny Walker Black is getting low. Any last questions from people? Again, this was an impromptu. Very impromptu one. Just wanted to kick back and do a quick happy hour. We've got, a couple things. We've got some really cool videos coming this Saturday. We have a keep kill video, No Time to Die styles. What is this? What is this? It's basically myself and a guest host coming on and literally going through every single outfit of Bonds and No Time to Die and going, would we keep it or kill it and why? And I mean, we get forensic, we analyze, etc. Jonas, more impromptu. Do you guys like this when we just kind of pop on, don't announce it, and just it's kind of like opening the window, opening the virtual window, and just screaming out and going, anybody who wants to have a drink, I'm buying. Let's have a toast to each other, and we just chat for 45 minutes, an hour. It's all good. Tony, would you like a expanded universe, like a Felix series or a Moneypenny? No, thank you. No, thank you. Keep Kill, is that a version of Shoot F Mary? It is. So basically, in the PG version, it would be Keep Kill or Marry, which is terrible. But in our particular case, we're going to extremes. And it was hard, right? Because there were some outfits where we're like, I don't know, kind of like it. It could grow in me. And we're like, nope, you have to make a choice. So it's got to be like that. More scheduled live streams. People are like, it's all over the place. Operation Barracuda. Oh, okay. So Sean, this will be the last point I bring up. So Sean has a great question. Operation Barracuda. So if there is a London premiere and I'm heading over to London, I am going to try to create, and I know it's very short term, some sort of event gathering moment where a couple days before any of the events, we can all get together in person, like Poke, if it's safe and everybody can do it. And there's a lot to be determined. And please don't send hate mail my way. I'm saying if it's possible, I would love to do that. I would love to organize. I will take the time to do that. We've got feet on the street. We've got Peter Brooker and others that are just willing to hand. We may still call it Operation Barracuda, but that was because it was at the Club Barracuda. Now we've got other places that have reached out who are volunteering their place, which is great because we're slightly a little more well-known now. But let's play it by ear. Let's play everything by ear because we don't know what is in store for us. But whatever happens, good or bad, the one thing I will say, not to get a little soapboxy, but the Bond community is the most resilient, resourceful group of people I've ever met. I mean, we've come back from some very depressing things. We went into lockdown. We've seen a pandemic. We've kept chins up. We've kept laughter going. We've kept cajoling. We fall out with each other. We fall back in love with each other. I call it a community, not lightly, because it is like a real community. We've got our many opinions, and it's all okay. And if you take a look at some of the other communities out there, whether they be genre communities or real communities, bickering and fighting with each other, this is a pretty damn good one. So whatever happens with the new movie, we're still always going to celebrate each other. And that's huge. So take that with you. And hopefully I'll see you all Saturday morning, probably around 8 o'clock, for the Keep Kill series. It's a little bloody, but you can root for your own winners and losers that way. And I'll be talking to you all safe. Be safe out there. This is David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. I'll finish this up. We'll talk soon. Cheers, everyone. Bye.